A Kiss for a Card. In Adrienette, Miraculous Ladybug, Valentine's Day Fanfiction, Chapter 1. Some could say he was whipped. Others could say he was smitten. But in total honesty, Adrian didn't care about what people said because he knew he was in love. It was as simple as that. He was a boy madly in love with the most wonderful girl. There were times he wondered how on earth did he get so lucky to have gotten her to be his. It almost felt like a dream, too good to be true, yet somehow it was. She was funny and sweet and charming and prettier than anyone else he had ever seen, and to top it all off, the superheroine of Paris. Not that anyone knew that last part. No, it was just a little secret between him, her, and their qualmies. It was fine with him. The whole world didn't need to know and have every single and little detail of their relationship. You know, like the stolen kisses in the sky or the impromptu dates after Akuma fights. "Good morning, Adrian," Marinette said, standing on her tippy toes to give him a kiss on the cheek. He smiled back at her happily. "Good morning to you too," he said, wrapping an arm around her waist and pulling her in flush next to him. She laughed and leaned her head against his side. "Oh God, are you two still in the honeymoon stage? It's been nearly a year," Alia said, fake gagging. Marinette rolled her eyes. "Oh, don't act like this is your whole life's goal achieved here," she said, sticking out her tongue playfully. Alia dropped the act and laughed. "That's true, but honestly, I miss those days," she said with a wistful sigh. "I don't. I rather like having Marinette as my girlfriend," Adrian cut in, looking down at the light of his life in his arms. It still filled him with giddy joy whenever he got to say the word girlfriend, even though it was kind of ridiculous at this point. They had been together for quite some time, though the bright spark of love and adoration had certainly not diminished. No, not in the slightest. If anything, he felt it had grown stronger. He still felt like the luckiest person or cat-themed superhero sometimes in the entire world, although admittedly there was only one of the latter, but it still counted. He felt very, very lucky. "Oh, I know that, Agrest," Alia said, rolling her eyes playfully. "I mean, it was always fun to plan schemes and such with the girls to try and get you guys together. It obviously didn't pan out, or else you two would have been making goo-goo eyes at each other a long time ago, but it was still fun," the brunette said, sighing and reminiscing about the past. Adrian didn't really know what all of those schemes were, but he had heard a handful of them, much to his amusement and Marinette's embarrassment. "I think fun is an interesting description, but I don't know if it's the best one," Marinette said thoughtfully. "Well, I certainly found it fun," Alia stated with a smile. "You know, it still annoys me that you guys didn't even get together because of something that I planned to happen. Honestly, it was the most surreal experience," she said. Adrian laughed. "It was certainly surreal to me too," he said. "I was certainly confused and shocked." Marinette rolled her eyes, but with no malice. "No kidding. I certainly am not mad about it, because you not knowing any typical social or romantic norms is the whole reason why we got together. However, I was half convinced that you were so oblivious to the norms that when you said the word girlfriend, I thought you actually meant friend that is of the female gender." Marinette laughed. Adrian made a dramatically offended noise, much to her amusement. "To be fair, it does sound like something that you should have done. Even now, you barely know the social norms and cues," Alia teased. Adrian pouted, which made Marinette reach a hand up and pat him on the cheek, saying, "There." Alia wasn't wrong, per se. Adrian knew that he was still oblivious to a lot of things that his classmates found, normal. It was just, he liked being a baby about it. It meant Marinette had to be all sweet to him and comfort him with sweetness and, sue him for trying to make that happen more often. Alia clicked her tongue thrice and shook her head a bit. "You know, why can't we be like that?" she said, turning to her own boyfriend. He blinked back at her. He said. "I don't know." Alia rolled her eyes and playfully flicked him in the head. I'm not the dreamer type anyways. This is lovey-dovey enough for us, and we've been dating for twice as long as you guys. See? That's what happens when you figure out you like someone and they like you back." Alia teased. "Hey," Adrian cried with mock hurt. "You just said I don't know any social cues. It's not my fault. I was basically raised under a rock." Adrian defended himself. Alia waved her hand with a laugh. Yeah, we know," she said, tugging on Nino's arm. "Seriously though, we gotta go to class unless we want a fourth late slip. Bye," she called, pulling Nino behind her. Adrian and Marinette watched their two best friends bicker all the way to class. Not that was anything new. "They have always been like an old married couple," Marinette commented. "Yeah," Adrian agreed. "Even from the start, it was like watching an elderly couple that knew everything about each other," she continued. "Has Ollie ever heard you say that?" Adrian asked with a teasing grin. "Nope," she replied, popping the pea. "She'd probably end me," Marinette laughed. "Oh, yes, she would." Now, there were two notable things that happened around Valentine's Day and/or the first 2 weeks of February. First and foremost, the tens and many posters advertising the Pink and Red Hearts Day fair that was flying around and covering most everything in sight. You'd have to be blind as a bat to miss the announcements of the fair. The posters were brightly colored and thrown into your face obnoxiously. Not to mention, it was always buzzing around the students and intercom. So, in addition to being blind, you'd have to be deaf, or at least hard of hearing, because everyone was screaming about it. The second thing was the Valentine's Pink and Red Hearts card that was the big pre-fair fundraiser. Every morning and during most all of the class blockings, there was a table out in the courtyard with students selling Valentine's cards. It only cost a little bit of pocket change and was a very sweet gift to give. And they weren't boring. No. In order to get students more interested into buying them, the school had ordered many different cards to sell. The popularity of cards for sale were displayed on the posters. There was the most generic, a pink card with the words, "Will you be my Valentine?" inside of it. That one was the most common. It could be customized, of course, with a pen, but it was a basic startup one. Then there was the one with a pop-up heart, the one with the glitter, and the rarest of them all, the Ladybug and Chat Noir theme one. That one held a special place in his heart. But not for the reason that one may be expecting. In reality, it was because of that very card that Adrian was able to call the lovely Marinette Dupanchang his girlfriend and crime-fighting partner. It was a special card that he had gave her on a special day with a special meaning, leading to the most special thing in his entire life. And that was why he was walking over to the table with cash in hand, ready to buy that card. Hopefully, he could make it a tradition to get her a Ladybug and Chat Noir themed Pink and Red Hearts card every single year. Adrian prayed to himself that the card would look nice. The year before, the card was awful. It was awful, and they had spent many a nights laughing about it together. The creators of the cards, you really could have picked a more romantic picture, but then again, from an outsider's perspective, he saw how one could mistake it for being romantic. Only they knew that they were feeling woozy from an Akuma hit causing their legs to feel like jello when the picture was taken. It ended up being an inside joke between the two of them, really. And somehow, and despite the awful picture and strange predicament that they're in, and that Marinette had every right to shout at him for, she kindly understood the misunderstanding and became his girlfriend. Thus, their 1-year anniversary was on Valentine's Day. Now, the table was rather deserted when he arrived, and Adrian politely asked for the Ladybug and Chat Noir card, expecting there to be one. "I'm sorry, we're out. We didn't order any more than 3 of those cards," the girl said with a frown. Adrian's jaw dropped. What? They were out? Oh no, he was too late. And why did they only get 3 of the most special cards for sale? What? "Can I interest you in a different one?" the other student said, boldly gesturing to the other cards on the table. Adrian smiled politely but shook his head. No, only that one card had a special meaning to them. "Thanks, but no," he said, walking away. Adrian groaned and ran his hands through his hair. His plan was now ruined without the card, and he didn't know what he should do to fix it. What could replace the card? Certainly not the planned one with cliché words of, "Will you be my Valentine?" which, for the record, he didn't even say. "What are you planning to do about it, kid?" Flag asked him as soon as he ducked into a desolate corner. Adrian sighed. "I don't know," he admitted. "Maybe I'll make the card myself," he said idly. Flag stared at him blankly. "Okay, yeah. In that case, you're just better off buying the plain one," he deadpanned. Adrian scowled at him. "I'm not that bad at drawing." "No, I'm telling you, you really are." "I'm no Renaissance artist, but you can still tell what it is." "Adrian, even your little darling princess will admit that your attempt to draw a frog looked like a donkey. It's fine to get something else. Not everyone can do everything." "No, it has to be special," Adrian protested. Flag raised a brow at him. All right, but don't come blaming me when she thinks the big red heart is actually a blood splatter," Flag said, knowing that there was absolutely nothing he could say to change Adrian's mind. Zipping back into Adrian's shirt, Flag disappeared right as the duo of students loudly turned the corner. Adrian looked down at the hidden Kwame. "It will be a special card," he insisted. Flag snorted. "It's for our 1-year anniversary, and it's not the only gift I'm getting her. It's just for commemorate," Adrian said. Flag sighed. "I'm sure Lover Girl will still love it," he said with a begrudging tone. Adrian smiled and straightened his posture to look more natural. "Yeah, it was gonna be great. She'll definitely love it." Okay, I'm recording this segment just to let you guys know this and to give you a little bit of a sneak peek on what's to come. So it is genuinely 2 minutes away from being 12 a.m. where I am living, and at the time of recording, and I've just finished recording this chapter 2, and oh my god, this is, I don't know if you're gonna see, but I had so much fun recording this. I have not had so much fun recording a chapter in such a long time, and I hope you guys enjoy the little things that I do, because I feel like I let out my personality a little bit more in this chapter, and I'm just letting my personality go through my voice currently in this outro, I guess, but it's like a minute-long outro, so take that as you will. But yeah, I hope you guys like this little sneak peek. And I hope you enjoy hearing my personality come out, because this is really fun. It's also really late, and I have, like, tests tomorrow. Go me! I'm a disaster of a student.